Hey, hey, I'm
Welcome,
Shane.
welcome.
That's Tyler. Buttered up. We saw Supergirl,
Supergirl.
and we don't really know what our initial impressions are. We both just saw it. We haven't talked about it at all. So this is just raw reactions. We'll talk a
Literally
little bit.
just
Yeah,
got out of the car, got home, put on my official buttered up hat. Don't worry about the fact that it looks like an Orioles hat. It's not. It's an official buttered up hat that you can't buy yet, maybe someday. And I'm locked in, ready to talk about this cinematic experience.
experience. Interesting. Okay. Um, yeah. No. I mean, we could talk about like before we even jump into Supergirl, Tyler wanted to talk a little bit about what came before Supergirl, the trailers. We saw like a Digger trailer with Tom Cruise, which is interesting. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
What the hell was that? I thought,
What is
okay,
this
so for
movie?
so for those of you who haven't been to the theater yet, you haven't seen Supergirl, or maybe you saw Supergirl and you did what I usually do, which is show up just as the movie is starting and not watch any of the trailers. There was a montage that must have been, it felt like an hour, but it was
It
probably only
felt like it
three
was, yeah,
minutes.
it was an hour long because that's just how much he has been in. Tom Cruise has been in. He's been in like every movie since he was born. Is what it seems like.
So it was a montage of every major scene from every major Tom Cruise movie that's ever existed. And you're like, what is happening? Are they releasing like a. I thought maybe they were releasing a marathon of Tom Cruise movies. Like, you know how sometimes they do those events where they're like, hey, come to the theaters and be here for 24 hours straight for every Harry Potter movie back to back to back to back. I kind of thought we were getting like a Tom Cruise version of that, or he was winning an award, or he was retiring. But no, it's just like, hey, did you like all of these movies? Check out his new movie, Digger.
No, I feel like no one knows what this movie is, and they either don't want to tell us because they want to keep it a secret, or they have no faith in it, so they're just like farming Tom Cruise to get people for butts and seats. I'm not sure, but it did work. I will be there.
But see, will I see it? Yes. Does it worry me that they won't tell us what this movie is about? Kind of. Yeah, it kind of does because it's if it was such a great movie and it was going to be iconic and it was going to be, top of the line, I feel like they would give us a hint of what's happening. Instead, we get Tom, who I assume is Tom Cruise, in a southern accent for 4 seconds yelling and a shovel, and that's it. That's the entire trailer. Most of the trailer is just clips from previous Tom Cruise movies.
I'm excited. I'm sad. Were there any other trailers that you saw that you were like, yeah, I'll be there, other than like the Odyssey?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I
Mm.
saw it at AMC. It was a little odd. There wasn't
Uh huh.
really a lot of trailers. Usually that's like a 30-minute ride at AMC. Today it was only
Hmm.
20 minutes. There was like a Kia ad in there. So there really wasn't as
A Kia
much.
ad.
Yeah, AMC puts in ads now
That's
for
crazy.
their
So
movies.
for the
Yeah.
listeners, I'm an Alamo Draft House loyalist until recently, where they really started screwing the pooch with the cell phone things that everyone hates. Um, but I don't go to any AMC's. But Tyler is an AMC. What is it? Stub
I
list
am an
A lister.
A-lister. I am a premier
Mm,
A-lister. Yeah.
mm, and I'm just a monthly subscriber to Alamo. So
Not only am I an A-lister, but I do in fact have the popcorn pass as well, which gets me 50% off popcorn every time I go. Don't ask how much I paid for that at the
speaking
beginning of the year, but I did pay for that at the beginning of the year.
speaking of popcorn, did you see Supergirl's popcorn bucket?
No, actually, they didn't have it in my AMC. They had Toy Story popcorn buckets and I think He-Man. I don't even know if there
Can you
was a
look it
Supergirl
up?
popcorn.
Look up the
Yeah.
Supergirl. Look it up right now. So he's gonna look it up right now. If you know, you know. This is gonna be a raw reaction to the Supergirl popcorn bucket. Tyler, that what you were seeing is that is a
Wait, I'm
wiener.
confused. Wait, I'm confused. Wait, I don't see that one. See,
You see the one with like the coat, like the coat.
no.
It's like a circle and a coat.
Oh, the Gripper
Oh
Cup.
yeah. Do you see
Oh.
that?
It's an interesting choice, that's for sure.
Speaking of popcorn buckets, I have one right here.
Uh-oh. Okay, guys, I was not ready for show and tell today, so this is exciting.
Check this out.
Oh, that's cool.
I got this at the Superman premiere. This one's awesome. I love this one.
That is cool.
This one's super cool. And then you can like change it out. You got the crypto one in there. And there's like a few more in here, and you can just like swap out the news article. So cool.
That is cool.
We're not here to talk about Superman.
Even though he is in this movie, and one of the shining points of this movie is David Cornsweet, who just genuinely, I was unsure when he was casted, when the original trailers came out, of how his Superman was going to be. Mm-hmm. And I didn't love Superman as much as everyone else did. It's a great movie, don't get me wrong. It is a great movie, but I wasn't as like in love with it as other people were. But I do have to say, in this movie, I really fell in love with David Cornsweet as Superman.
Oh,
and for
that's
me,
interesting.
Definitely sold me on him moving forward playing the character.
See, I sat down in that movie theater for Superman, and I'm not a big DC guy. I've never been a big DC guy. I always thought it was overrated. I sat down. I saw this. All the Snyderverse fans are going to be so mad. I sat down, and I loved Superman. Yeah, no, it wasn't perfect, but I loved David Cornsweet as Superman. I thought he was incredible. Do I think that he's Clark too much of the time? Yeah, a little bit. I feel like he could like maybe like turn the Clark on and off a little bit more when he's Superman. I feel like he's just like always Clark, if that makes sense. I'm okay with it, but like in general, I loved it. I loved every second of it. I thought it was so fun.
I think they're building to it in the sense that, you know, same as when we started with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he wasn't Iron Man at first, Tony Stark. Captain America isn't Captain America at first. We kind of had to build to it before they truly became the character. And even though we start with Superman in that movie, he's already Superman. Like, we don't truly have an origin story
and change, right?
But they needed to explain to us who this Superman, who this Clark Kent was, and kind of go through that spiral before I feel like they could really embrace it. So I think in the next movie, what is it called? Superman? Is it just Superman versus Lex? Is that what they're calling it?
No. It says Superman, Man of Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, in Superman versus Lex, aka Man of Tomorrow, I think we'll get more Superman than we do Clark Kent.
I'm excited to see Gunn come out and fire again. The gun is not jammed. I don't believe it. It did. Okay, so before we jump into it, we'll do what we always do. We'll do our countdown, and then we'll give our scale, on 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, on where we're at.
This is my least favorite part of the podcast. We're going to do it every time, but it's my least favorite part of the podcast because I don't like boxing
putting
in a number, because the number we feel now as we're going to start talking about it will definitely change by the time we're done talking about it, and then it'll change again in a week, and like it'll change again in a month. But no, we're gonna do it. But I just
why don't we do it now, and then at the end of the conversation do it again?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Okay,
yeah.
We'll do that then.
Okay.
So right now, before we have the conversation, we'll count down, and then we'll give our rating.
And this is out of 10.
Out of 10, yeah. Decimals are allowed. Now, don't go into the 10th. You can go into like the whatever, the 0.0 or 0.1 or whatever. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, 7.2. Really?
Yeah, I didn't like this movie.
Man, that's a stinker from Tyler. That's a stinker. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Why?
It's a great question. I think this movie has a lot of issues. I agree. Before I go too deep into anything, and we'll talk about the story before we dive into, the full review of it. I think Millie Alcock is amazing. And I don't, she is not She is not the reason for this rating. Supergirl is not the reason for this rating. I just think it's poorly written. And I don't think they knew where they wanted to go with certain characters. Lobo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think it was missing something. There's something missing. I kind of feel like they filmed it also on the volume. I don't know that for a fact, but it felt kind of lifeless sometimes in the scenes. They're in a lot of landscapes and deserts that don't really have much texture around it. And it's just kind of Kara, Supergirl existing, which, I didn't love it. I think the story needed a lot more work. And then there's a character I just hated the whole time and just wanted her to go away. I won't say who, but we'll talk about it in a second.
So, for this, so what James Gunn made abundantly clear that to all the DC people and to everybody watching, he was like, there will not be anything that moves forward unless it has a solid script, a rock solid script. He said that. Everyone's like, woo! You know, Superman came out. Everyone's like, yeah, let's go. And then this comes out, and everyone's really divided on it, or just really does not like it. That does not give me a lot of faith in what comes next if that is like what is considered a good script. Because I agree, there was a lot of bumps in this.
I thought about it in my car ride back. The difference between James Gunn and Kevin Feige is Kevin Feige doesn't wrap himself up in any one project. And so he has the ability to kind of be an overseer of everything. And James Gunn is an amazing director. He's an amazing writer, hands down, one of the greatest superhero specific movie directors and writers maybe ever, right? I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
That's a bold claim.
I think Superman did a really good job introducing us to his DC universe, but I worry that he's too focused on his own projects and making sure that they're perfect. That maybe Supergirl did have a perfect script, but who knows what happened once it went into production and things change and there's rewrites. So we just don't know what happened in between when the script was greenlit and when we got to the final product, and how much say he ultimately had and how that movie progressed moving forward.
So, fun fact, I just saw this today. So the writer for Supergirl, she said that James Gunn was very protective over Superman. So whenever she was writing scenes with Supergirl and Superman interacting, James Gunn was repeatedly like, he wouldn't say that to her. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. And I don't see that as overprotective. I see that as this writer, she had no clue what she was doing, is what I see that as. And that's not me trying to be like a James Gunn simp or anything like that. Yeah, I think he's got his issues too. But that, just like her saying that in an interview, I was like, oh, okay, so I guess there's a little bit more problems than just the like writing. Like, you just didn't really understand the dynamics between the characters or anything like that. And I kind of trust James's input on that.
But also, who knows where the character is going to progress to, right? It's possible he knows things that they don't know because they're not a part of the production of Man of Tomorrow. I mean, that's one of the issues that Marvel's really had, where some of their movies in recent years have felt disconnected because Kevin Feige doesn't necessarily let the writers of Loki know what's going to happen in WandaVision or what's going to happen in Eternals and what's going to happen in Captain America Brave New World. And so you have these pieces that are all kind of there but don't necessarily fit. So I don't think it's a negative that James Gunn is correcting writers on other projects about how Superman should be portrayed, because he does know the big picture of where Superman is headed.
Yeah, no, I agree. What I guess like do you want to jump into it more now?
Yeah, well, let's talk. Do you want to talk the story about like what it was first, and then we can jump into
Sure. I can do like a brief synopsis. So, Supergirl, she's sad. She comes across this girl named
Ruthie.
Ruthie. She comes across this girl named Ruthie. See that's not a good sign. Um, Ruthie her whole family gets killed by the big bad guy whose name is
Creme.
Krem. See, also not a good sign. Krem kills Ruthie's family, who does they make swords, I think.
Why did they make
then
swords? They made that such a big deal. The sword place almost. I'll
there's
stop. You
not,
you keep
not
telling this. You keep telling
yeah,
the story.
no,
We'll
okay,
get into
yeah,
it.
nothing of importance there. And then Ruthie goes to a bar and holds up her sword and goes, "I need Krem's head. Someone help me." And then Supergirl fights a guy to get the sword back for Ruthie, and then they go on to their grand adventure to help each other. But in before that happens, Krem shoots Crypto with a poison dart. Ugh. So the animal is in peril once again in a James Gunn production. And then they have 36 hours, and then it's essentially a space journey to go and save Crypto from death. Yep, that's the story.
Yeah,
That's pretty vague, but you'll pick it up as we're talking about it. And if you're watching this and you haven't seen it, you should just go see it. And then
go see the movie. Look,
yeah,
it's not.
It's fun enough to go see it.
It's not a waste of your time. It's not a waste of money. Even though I gave it a low rating, I would not have not seen this movie. And if someone said, "Hey, I really want to see it. Would you go see it with me?" I would say yes. Like I wouldn't never watch this movie again.
I'd go see it again.
Yeah.
If someone wanted me to go see it, would I go see it again on my own? I don't know. No. I saw Superman. I saw Superman more than once. I wouldn't see this more than once, I don't think. But we'll talk about more. I guess like to start off with, what did you want to like dive in? Like for me initially, I just was like, I liked everything at the beginning. It was a little slow, but I kind of liked like her just kind of like doing her own thing. I like how it was kind of almost like an expression of like self-harm, just being in the red sun drinking herself all the time. Like it's like that weird grief stage that she was in. I kind of like that, and I really really liked all of the aliens in this movie, like all the practical work, all that stuff. Like even like this was more Star Wars than any Star Wars production that has come out since Disney bought it. They did a really good job with that, I will say.
Completely agree. I literally have in my notes, I wrote love all the aliens. There's a horse at one point that kind of looks like a woolly mammoth, so it's massive.
Yeah.
That thing's really cool. The aliens are done really, really well. And when I talked about the volume before, what I mean is more so the landscape surrounding them when they're not in enclosed environments like the bar, like the house, where there are a lot of aliens and creatures, and you feel like you're really in this alternate world. And I do think that's something, and I know James Gunn didn't direct this movie, but I think that's something he does really well with his projects of making you really feel immersed in the world. So I completely agree with you. I think the aliens are great. One thing I want to talk about in the beginning of the movie, like you mentioned, we're introduced to Ruthie and her parents and her brother who's listening to music, maybe with headphones on, and for some reason can't hear that this gang of marauders.
Where's everyone getting these old headphones from, by the way, in this galaxy far, far away?
I don't know. I mean, well, okay, so at one point Kara talks about Earth as if like everyone knows what Earth is. So I don't know. That's questions that hopefully James Gunn will answer.
It's whatever.
In the future. I guess we live in a society in this DC world where Green Lanterns are known and are famous superheroes. They're superhero groups. So I guess it's not too crazy.
Clear, so
yeah. But so sense. These marauders come in. It's Krem and his goons. I don't quite remember what the name of the gang is they're a part of.
The human traffickers.
Yeah, they're human traffickers. Specifically, they want young women to turn into
little girls.
Their wives. Yeah, it's creepy.
They're pedophiles. Yeah.
Very much so, yeah. So they come in and they say to the parents, "You have what we want." And they're like, just go to the back of our shed. There's a bunch of swords back there that we've worked really hard on. And they're like, "We don't want the swords." Or maybe they do want the swords. I don't really know. And then the boy screams. Krem murders all of them except the girl. But
The
then
boy
even
screams to scare his little sister who's standing there. He
is
just like
that what was
jumps out.
happening?
Yeah, no, he jumps out and he goes blah because he was like trying to like mess with his little sister.
Oh,
He was trying
I
to mess
missed
with
that.
her. Yeah.
I missed
And then he
that.
went
Okay.
blah and then Krem threw the axe into the back of him when Krem was sitting and eating in the previous scene. Like, why did he do that? That he just did that for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Just to throw that axe at him. Yeah, no, that was forced, but whatever.
So okay, so that happens, right? And then they kill the parents, but even though they're kidnapping these girls, they don't take this one. They leave her behind with a sword. I don't quite understand why that was a thing. But what really drove me crazy, and maybe I just missed it, were the parents also British or did they have American accents? Because the girl has a really strong British accent that I think is really annoying. And I don't think I heard that same accent in the parents.
I don't remember. Normally, I feel like they have British accents in space. I don't.
But
I don't
feel
remember,
like the
to be
parents
honest.
did it.
It doesn't really bother me. They might have. Well, I have no clue. They could have all had different accents from different places, and I probably wouldn't have even have blinked.
Right, but to me, her accent just felt very out of place. I don't know. I genuinely, and this is no shame to
Ruthie's accent?
Eve Ridley, who plays Ruthie, but I found Ruthie to be insufferable the entire movie and is most of the
Really?
reason why I gave it such a low rating. I find her to just be annoying. I don't think she was needed. I think the movie would have done a lot better if Supergirl had some sort of other sidekick character around her, if Lobo was the sidekick character, but ultimately she just kind of whines the whole time. And she has this sword that you think's going to be relevant, but it's never relevant. And you kind of go, oh, well, maybe these parents are working on something really huge that's going to take down a big evil gang of people with these magical swords they're working on. And no, we never revisit that. It's literally just like to set up the fact that she has a sword.
I don't really care for like. Did I have a connection to Ruthie? No. Was I emotionally invested in Ruthie and her arc? No. Did she annoy me? No. She just existed for me. I have no problems. I also have no ups to Ruthie. Ruthie was just a character for me. Did not care at all. So that's why
I think she was very poorly written. That's what I'll say about that.
I think it's just jaded, is what it is. Not for me. It's not poorly written. It's if we just seen it so many times, like you killed my parents, I will kill you. No, you're better than that. Show him who you are. Move on. And that's exactly what happened. So that's why it's like it's just I don't know. It's just lazy, I guess. I mean, I don't expect it's a Superwoman movie. It's fine if it's generic. It doesn't have to be that generic, though. I would say I don't know. Like she doesn't do twists a little later, but it's whatever.
But she doesn't do anything except for whine. She never uses the sword. It just sits on her the entire time. She's just kind of a burden to Supergirl. Yeah, there's moments where she saves Supergirl, whatever. But even those just feel like coincidental and not necessarily of importance. I don't know. She bothered me every time.
Like there's stuff of like around the writing that bothered me about it a little bit later, but for like where we are in the story, Supergirl and Ruthie are together now. Crypto got shot by that like weird mysterious poison, right? She takes him to like some doctor that the doctor watches him while Supergirl is going to go get the antidote and everything from Krem and all that. But in between all of these scenes, we're getting flashbacks to Krypton, which I think were some of like the highlights of the movie. Is the grief that was explored through that.
Yes. 1,000,000% agree. The Krypton scenes are amazing. Real quick though, just because I'm sure we'll never get back to this again. The alien doctor who is on that planet where Crypto is being healed. Supergirl Kara can talk to almost any alien in this movie and have full perfect conversation, but
I
for
love it.
some
Yeah.
reason this one alien she can't talk to and she needs the girl to translate. I feel like they did that just to show, oh hey, the girl is important. See, Kara does need her. But why can she talk to every other alien creature but not this one?
It seems like Ruthie knew this lady and Kara didn't know this lady, which is why Kara was able to talk to everybody that was like at the bar scene or anything because she's like around those people. Yet Ruthie's around people like these healers. You know what I mean? Like I feel
I
like that's
guess.
kind of what I got from that. But I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. But then they go on to so Krem steals Kara's ship. Uh, So keep in mind that
Where did he
Supergirl.
come from?
Keep in mind that Supergirl and Ruthie are standing in a field. The ship is like 200 yards away. Krem and his gangs walk out from behind the ship and go, "This is a nice ship." And they get on it. And then Crypto turns around and barks. And then Krem shoots Crypto for the love of the gang or the love of the game. And just they both fly off.
But that's not even how quick it happens. He gets on, he takes an old bowl of cereal, eats that bowl of cereal.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Futz around in there. And the whole time, they never notice. They're not that far. They're pretty close to the ship. They should have noticed that these guys came in on a separate ship and are just like, ooh, let's take this.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Yeah, that was one of the points. There's a few points in this movie where I rolled my eyes. That was one of them. I'll talk about the other one later. Though the other one later really pissed me off. And then what they do is they have to get on to a bus, and it's like an intergalactic bus where it takes them to different planets. On I guess that's how they're trying to get the creme. I really actually like this scene a lot because like it's all the different aliens on the bus. It's like a tight bus. They're like fighting some other aliens that come to like raid the bus. That's fun. Seth Rogen is the bus driver.
Yup, I was gonna say cameo.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Seth Rogen, that was just random and that was fun.
That kind of goes to what you're saying, though, right? Those are the parts that feel really Star Wars, because Star Wars recently has
Really
been kind
good.
of famous for that, where they give you this world and then they give you some sort of celebrity cameo as a voice of a character. We saw that in the Mando
and Grogu.
versus Mando
Yeah,
versus
Martin
Grogu,
Scorsese.
Mando and Grogu, Martin Scorsese. In the Mandalorian, we had Jason Sudeikis was a stormtrooper at one point. We had Taika Waititi was a droid. They've done this before in Star Wars, so I like that part. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I did too. It's like refreshing to see because I'm like, wow, this is a lot of fun. And then you kind of remember what the movie is, and it kind of takes you out of it. But like, this is like the first instance where we see Supergirl like fully charged on a yellow sun because they like get invaded, and then like a yellow sun just happens to come up right as she's dying in space because it was a red sun before and now it's just like a yellow sun, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because if there's no sun around, does that mean that they're powerless? Maybe
don't
I'm
ask
just
too many.
uneducated.
Don't ask too many questions. I think.
Okay.
I
see
think
what I mean?
she would
Because
have
there was
just
like
been
no
a normal
red sun.
person. Well, she knew the yellow sun was coming up, so she was pretty much powerless.
No,
she
yeah,
saw the
yeah.
yellow sun was coming up, and then she went outside the bus to get that sun
Well, she
power.
She didn't go outside the bus. She got pulled outside the bus. Remember the bad lady was like, bye bye.
Right, but she puts the spacesuit on first before she goes
Yeah.
and does that. So I think she
Yeah,
knew she
yeah,
was going to end up outside the bus.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And yeah, but then they like land, and then they go do what else? What do they do next?
But okay, so part of the so this is one of the issues with the story is okay, they're on the bus. This other random gang shows up and they want to steal all the items from the people on the bus. Okay, fine, I guess that happens, but it seems like it happens quite often. So why isn't the bus more prepared for that? And then when it does happen, it's kind of a convenient plot point where it's like, oh, we've captured these criminals, these girls that are trying to rob the bus. Now that we have them, tell us where Krem is. And it's like, wait, but how do you know they know where Krem is? Like, that was kind of random.
there's a lot of things that happen in this movie that happen just to advance the plot, like a
Yeah.
lot. um, but yeah, they tell him where Krem is, or they like give him like a faint idea of where Krem will be, and then it's that place with the like husband and wife, right? In like the bar.
Is that the same town? I guess it
Is
is,
that
right? Because that's
no?
where we meet
But
Lobo for the first
yeah,
time.
they're in space, and then they get put into that town. Yeah, okay, yeah. So they like
Yeah.
yeah, they pretty much make them go to this like city on another planet where it's a yellow sun. And then I knew this was gonna happen. Like she sits down to drink something from this nice family that like took her in, and
Wait, but let's go back. We're at the bar. We meet Lobo
sorry,
for the
sorry,
first
sorry.
time.
We meet
Yeah.
Lobo for the first time at like a bar where they're trying to get information on Krem. What did you think
Yeah.
about that?
So hated it mostly because I
What'd
have a
you hate
couple
about it?
I have a couple of reasons. The first reason is Ruthie's just like, you shouldn't be drinking. We gotta go find Krem, and she's like, I don't know where Krem is, but we gotta go find
Mhm.
him. She's just whining like she does, and then it was the lamest introduction to a cool character that I think I've ever seen. Lobo walks into the bar, walks up to the bartender, says, "Have you seen this person?" No, we haven't seen this person. Yes, you have. No, we haven't. Haha, just kidding. I believe you, but you shouldn't believe me. I'm a liar.
That I thought it was I thought it was funny. Maybe I'm the target audience.
But it's
just
just
Jason
dumb.
Momoa. It was just like it's just like fun. You know, he's very
Right.
much Lobo's very much so like an anti-hero. He's not like a good guy or a bad guy. I
Yeah,
mean, he's a
but
bad guy, but like you know what I mean. So
but
it's just I'm fine with him
that's
just
how
being
they
around.
that's how they introduce the character. Ruthie then goes, "Oh, you're not going to help me, Kara? That's fine. I'll ask Lobo for help." And then Lobo's like, "Get out of here, kid. I don't help people. I just do things for myself because I'm a bounty hunter." And then he leaves, and that's how we meet Lobo. And I thought that was just such a lame way to do that for what could have been a very cool character.
I thought it
And
was weird that they made Lobo leave by her being like so Kara Supergirl just had to like jump in between all of them and like twiddle her hair and she's like, oh my god, like we're just on like a tour. Like we've never been here before. Like just being like a dumb blonde. And then he was like, ugh, I've had enough of you, idiots,
yeah,
or something, and then he leaves. That was dumb. Why'd they do that? I don't know why they did that. That just seemed random and weird. Like why would that work on him? You know, whatever. Um, and then they go home with the bar owners or bartenders, whatever, because they know where Krem is. And then Kara sits down to drink something, and the most obvious thing in history happens where Kara got drugged, and it just so happens to be the same poison that Krem used on Super or on Crypto. So we know what the effects are. It should be paralyzing, but she's not getting paralyzed because she's a super human, obviously, or super person. So she didn't get paralyzed.
she's
She's like,
slightly affected.
yeah, she's like vomiting the whole time she's fighting, like very potty humor, kind of.
Yeah, a lot of that in this movie, which isn't a bad thing. That didn't bother me so much.
And she's just like vomiting, fighting the whole time, and then Lobo shows up because one of the bounty targets of Lobo is in Krem's gang. It's not Krem, but one of the people in Krem's gang. So it's just Lobo fighting all of Krem's guys. And Supergirl's flying around vomiting, looking for Krem.
Yeah. And like the parents, like, we were gonna trade you because Krem stole our daughter, so we were gonna trade you and Ruthie to get our daughter back. And yeah, Lobo's there because he's trying to hunt one of them, but he's kind of ineffective in what he's doing, and he's not really there to help in general. He's just kind of around on his motorcycle with a giant cigar, which I guess is cool, but again, it
That's
just kind of
Lobo.
felt like no, I get that, but it just kind of felt like, why is he here? Did we need him for this?
I think the movie didn't have him originally, but it just didn't like it needed something else. And this was the only other way to start getting butts in seats was a Jason Momoa Lobo, to be
I
honest.
guess.
It's what
I
it
just
felt
think
like.
we just saw Aquaman as Jason Momoa. What was that? A few
When?
years ago? Wasn't that the last movie of the DC EU? Aquaman 3 or 2?
No, I don't think so. I was in like high school when that movie came out.
No, Aquaman
Yeah.
2 came out in 2020. Aquaman
Oh,
and the Last Kingdom came out in 2023.
Aquaman
September
2. I
14th.
didn't.
It
I was thinking of original Aquaman. I never even saw Aquaman 2 because I just knew it was gonna be
it
trash. So
wasn't it wasn't good, but Jason Momoa is a good Aquaman, and we just saw him as Aquaman less than 2 years
he's a good
ago,
actor.
or less than 3
Should
years
be.
ago. I like Jason Momoa, but less than 3 years ago we saw him as Aquaman. Now you're
Mhm.
introducing him as Lobo, and you gave him the lamest introduction.
I'm
His
alright with it.
character has almost no reason to be there other than he just kind of exists around. Like, they would have been better off doing what they're doing for the Lanterns, where they're giving them like a show or a mini series, and just do a bounty hunter show with Jason Momoa as Lobo.
I think they were feeling it out.
I don't know. I just think
I think
it
that
was
that is
too
coming for sure.
early, too early to recast it. I didn't think it
I
would
don't think
bother
it was
me,
too early
but
to
it
recap. It didn't bother me at
bothered
all.
me. Yeah, it
Really?
bothered
I was
me.
like, yeah, let's go. Like I didn't care. I did not care at all because I knew he wanted to do the role, and he made it abundantly clear that he wanted to do the role, and he was very passionate about it. He seemed passionate about it in the movie, and he was having fun. I feel like it brought a good vibe, energy to it. I couldn't see anybody else as Lobo right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it
You see
wasn't
what I'm
needed.
saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't vibing with it.
Um, and then again, to make everything abundantly clear, everything wrong with this movie is what I at least feel like is the writing. Millie Alcock is Supergirl. I believe that 100%. She is the best thing. I think she's the best casting other than David Cornsweet in this new DCU so far. Like, she is next level of a casting. I'm really excited to see where this goes. And she's young and she's cool. I think she's got a lot of stuff going on. So it'll be really cool to see where she goes from here. That was just like a little side. I want to keep emphasizing that because I really do believe that she's really great.
Yeah, she's not the problem with this movie. I think she's awesome. I like her fighting scenes, her action scenes, her flying around is really cool. Her interactions with David Cornsweet as Superman are really cool. Like, she is fantastic, and I don't rate the movie based on her. I rate the movie based on the story and the characters, the main characters that surround her, like Ruthie and like Lobo.
So I guess like what happens then is that everyone's fighting, she's vomiting, and then Krem kills the daughter of the bartenders that came, and then Krem kills the bartenders as well, right?
Yeah, he kills them all.
Yeah, he kills all those people, and then Supergirl. This is one of my favorite scenes. Is Supergirl's like obviously very very distraught, and what's her name? God, what's her name? Ruthie's like, why did you do that? She's like, why'd you do that? I had that. I could have saved him. Meanwhile, Ruthie was gonna get killed because she tried to like sneak up on Krem, and Kara saved her or whatever. But because Kara saved her, Krem killed all like those people that they cared about that were slightly nice, even though they weren't nice because they literally poisoned Supergirl, but whatever. But Supergirl's like really like upset about this mistake, and she flies up into outer space. Like she just like lifts off and shoots right up to outer space. And then it's silent. She's just in space and she just screams at the top of her lungs, and then a tear gets let out. And then she just goes straight back down there to the planet and lands right where she was and starts kicking ass. I love that scene.
It's a great scene.
I feel like it literally is Supergirl, this whole movie. It just like embodies her character, that one scene. I really liked it.
Very reminiscent. I think this is Guardians. I don't remember if it's 1 or 2, where oh my god, Chris Pratt's character, Star-Lord, is out in space and he's starting to kind of crystallize.
That's 3.
That's 3, yeah. So it was very, very reminiscent
Adam Warlock
of that.
comes up like that, like painting, and like grabs him and brings him back.
Yeah, okay, you're right. So it was very reminiscent of that. I think, yeah, it's a great scene. I think anything that was solely focused on Supergirl is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the things around it. So these barbarians have really good technology somehow that others don't seem to have. Sometimes. So the fight kind of ends with Krem and remaining crew, including the guy Lobo's after, because apparently Lobo's immortal and can kill anyone, but isn't very good at catching a low life bounty.
Thug.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Thug. They get on their ship, and instead of it flying, it just poof, it just disappears, which is apparently something they can just do.
Yeah,
So
but
they have no idea.
They don't
Yeah.
board the ship like from like a UFO or like a like teleporting in there. No, no, no. They have zip lines. So they zip line back up into the ship, and then the ship teleports. So they obviously invested all of their money into the ship, and not into like their own gear or anything.
And their facial piercings.
And their facial piercings, correct?
Unless they're born like that, I don't know.
How do Supergirl and Ruthie figure? Or no, sorry. The reason that they know exactly where Krem is going is because Supergirl saw somebody talking in an alley when she landed on this planet. So Supergirl walks up to said person that just looks suspicious in an alley. I don't know if this is space racism or what. She just like walked up to this like guy in an alley and was like, "Where's Krem?" And he's like, "I don't know." And then she's like, "I'll beat you up." And then he's like, "I'll bring you there." So let me just put this sack on your head. And they acknowledged it. Where?
But why?
Like,
why did
I don't
she,
know why they needed.
Why did they need to put a sack on her head to take her to
has
this
X-ray
planet?
vision, by the way. But they
Right, he
obviously
doesn't
they
know
wouldn't
that.
know that, which I'm
Yeah.
fine with. And you could see her like looking at the clock through the sack, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm glad they didn't forget about that. But yeah, that's
but
dumb.
I don't.
Maybe it was it just to show that she could also use X-ray vision? Is what it seemed like. I don't know why they did that.
But they're dropping her off at this planet. They're not taking her back. They kind of expect her to die there anyways because they don't really realize the power of Supergirl. I don't know. I was also like, why do we have to cover her head? And Ruthie, do they even show this on camera? If they did, I missed it. Sneaks onto the storage area of the spaceship.
I think there was like a 5-second, not even like a 3-second cut of Ruthie like seeing her getting boarded onto the ship, or like see her like putting the bag on her head or something like that. So they
show that, but I don't think they show her just magically getting onto the hull of the ship. Yeah.
No, Ruthie just stowed herself away on this ship somehow. But also, she also had enough time to run back and find Krem's ship. And then, how did she find Krem's ship?
Was that not until they were on the planet?
No, because I think she found Krem's ship on the planet before Krem disappeared to the other planet. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I honestly don't.
Planets.
Yeah.
But anyways, she managed to smuggle herself onto the ship with a pretty important piece of cargo that she somehow managed to get. And then when they drop Supergirl off to this new planet where Krem is, it just so happens to be a planet with a green sun. And what does green mean?
And a yellow sun.
Bad.
It has both.
It has both, which is dumb because if you wanted to go somewhere where she couldn't go, just go to the green sun, not the green ant. Oh, by the way, let's bring her to somewhere where she's the most powerful person in the universe for 12 hours of the day, and then she's dying the other 12 hours. Why don't we just go somewhere where she's dying 24 hours? You know?
And
why didn't they do that? That was dumb, but whatever.
And they keep hyping up, like, the Krem's goons that, oh, your friend's going to die because green sun and whatever. She won't be able to survive here. But that didn't really matter. She was just incapacitated until the yellow sun came back. No one does anything to save her. She just happens to be fine once the yellow sun comes back up.
Well, she's laying on the ground dying from the green sun, and then Ruthie just kicks out of the other spaceship and then drags her to a cave. And then she was like, I thought getting you out of the sun would help a little bit. And I guess it like slowed the death a little bit. But then Supergirl she's like dying. She's like on the brink of death. And then she looks to Ruthie and goes, water. So Ruthie just finds water and then just gets kidnapped at the water.
Okay, it's what should have happened in Mandalorian and Grogu when Grogu was alone and Mandalorian was unconscious for 5 days and Grogu never gets kidnapped. That's what should have happened in that movie, but it doesn't. It happens in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the water looks far. It looked like it had to be like a 2 days walk to get
It
over
looked
there.
far. Yeah, she had to haul ass to get there for sure. But when she got there, she got the water, and she got kidnapped, and then she gets locked away in a cage on Krem's ship. And this is my biggest problem with this whole. You know what's gonna come up. This is the worst part of the whole script. Krem walks into there where she's hiding, and she goes, "I'll give you one last chance. You can be my wife," or something like that. And then she spits on Krem's face, spits on him. And keep in mind, this guy's killed everybody that's looked in his direction like this whole time. She spits on him, spits on his face. Krem stands up and goes, "We're gonna kill you later," and leaves. He hasn't spared anybody this whole time, but there was no way that he wouldn't have killed her right on the spot. He just goes, "We're gonna kill you later." He didn't say like we're gonna eat you. He didn't say like we're gonna like make an example of you. He didn't do anything that would have like it's like 3 more words that would have made way more sense, and they didn't include it. It was so lazy. It made me so mad.
On the ship, there's a separate prison just for their brides that they've kidnapped.
Correct.
Why isn't she with them if that was the goal? And then on top of
Maybe
that,
she's more capable.
When did Lobo even get captured?
Yeah, Lobo's in the cell right next to her. Lobo. So you're telling me Krem captured Krem and his goons, which we've seen Lobo beating up this entire movie without any issues. He got captured and somehow.
But did I miss it? I don't remember him getting captured. Unless there was just a lot going on and I missed it.
No, nothing. No, he did not get like it did not show him getting captured at all. He just like he just appeared in the cell next to him, which is weird because the last time we saw him, he was a free man on the planet that Supergirl just left. So
and I thought okay, now this is where Lobo is going to be. It seems like it was cut. Yeah, but that felt like where Lobo was going to become important to what's going on in this movie. Like, oh, he's going to team up with Ruthie. They're going to, he's going to work to get her out because he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a bounty hunter, but there's a code. You don't kidnap children. Like, I thought that's where this was going to go. No, he just kind of makes a joke and does nothing. And then Ruthie gets out because she tells someone else that she wants to talk to Krem. And he's like, okay.
And she just strangles him and then takes the keys. And then Lobo's like, come here. Come on. Let me out. And then she does it, which is smart. I'll give her that. She should have done that because he definitely helped them out. And then it's the big battle on the top of the spaceship.
But she hops into an air vent. Lobo goes, huh, that's a smart girl. And then impressive. He goes to fight. She goes to fight, even though she stands no chance. By this point, they don't realize that Supergirl is perfectly healthy now because the yellow sun has come back. And she joins in on the fight. And
you would have thought that they would have assumed that, hey, we need to leave or we need to hunker down. The problem is coming. Or maybe they just assumed that she would have already been dead. They didn't make any comments. It would have made more sense if we were they're like, boss, the yellow sun's coming up. We have to hunker down. And he goes and Krem's like, nah, she's dead. We've got nothing to worry about. My contact told me that he dropped her off in the middle of the desert. You know what I mean? That. There's so many. Oh, there's so many points in this movie where 3 more words would have saved it, on multiple occasions. I don't understand.
I don't know. And then, okay, so they're in this fight. Supergirl is kicking butt. She is knocking everyone over. Lobo's got his guy. Oh,
what is she wearing?
Oh, and she's wearing the Supergirl costume finally.
She got the Supergirl costume. And
she's
how
did
she get it?
Because, how did she get to the ship to steal the suit? You're right. I forgot that's what happened.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So God. Ruthie, when Kara's laying there dying on the ground in the green sun, Ruthie is holding Ruthie holds the bag and goes, I thought this would be important to you. I managed to get it from your ship. Keep in mind that her ship is disgusting. Oh, sorry. Her ship is disgusting. there's shit everywhere
Everywhere.
on this ship. And she just so manages to grab the one thing that audiences want to see. I will say though, I did really like that it was folded neatly in the corner. That did like I don't know if I'm reading into it too much, but that like led me to believe that like, she does respect like Clark, and she does respect like what the suit represents of like doing good, and she does want to do that. But I feel like she wasn't wearing it because she felt like she wasn't deserving of it yet,
100%. And I think, one
and
thing
she
we
respected
didn't,
it, and I did like that
yeah.
a lot. I'll give them
Well,
that.
one thing we haven't talked about is her interactions with David Cornsweet over
Mm-hmm.
intergalactic FaceTime, where
Mm-hmm.
essentially Superman's like, "Come home, Kara, come home, come back to Metropolis," and she's like, "I don't have a home, Clark. My home exploded, and you wouldn't know that because you were a baby when you were sent off, and I had to live through it." And so those are really powerful scenes. That again, if they had
Mm-hmm.
focused more on that, I think that would have been great. And
I
those
agree.
moments are great, but they don't spend enough time on them. So yeah, she's in the suit. She looks amazing in the suit. Like
Oh
10 out
yeah,
of 10, like you keep
Supergirl.
saying, Millie Alcock is Supergirl. Like it's perfect. It's a great moment for the movie, but then we lose it because Krem just conveniently has kryptonite in his wrist that he can shoot
He
at her.
shoots little darts at her like this, tunk, 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 and fills her with kryptonite.
Yeah.
Kryptonite's like an easy thing to come by. It seems like in this movie.
But it's like, where did he get that? Why does he just have this? There
I
are
don't
no
know. I'm all
Kryptonians
right
left.
with it, kind of, because like it is a big universe. Like I,
But
I don't know.
there's two Kryptonians that we know of that exist still in
Mm-hmm.
this universe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just prepared just in case one of the two in the infinity sphere of the galaxy
I
appear
was
in front
thinking
of
that
him.
he prepared it after his first interaction with her. Is what I
Maybe, but
assumed
then they
because
should have.
but they didn't show it. They didn't. Yeah, that's me giving them the benefit of the doubt. I agree. Yes, it is very convenient. But yes, she's flying through the air. She's kicking butt. She's doing well. But they had to nerf her again. They nerfed her like 4 times in this movie. One with the poisoning. One with the red sun. One with the kryptonite poisoning. Like they had to do it so many times to make it fair because Krem is such a lousy villain. You
Lousy
know.
villain. Yeah.
But yeah, no, there she's kicking butt. She's kicking butt. Uh, Eventually, Lobo's just like driving around, throwing grenades everywhere, and then the ship just like explodes and it's like crash landing, and then Ruthie falls out of the ship because they're like hanging from these tanks, and then Krem falls with Ruthie because Krem was also hanging from the tank, and then we assume that Krem dies, but the audience doesn't assume that.
No.
And then Ruthie's just like standing outside the ship, and then Ruthie's like, "The brides, the brides," and then Supergirl goes like this and sees the brides, and she goes into there, and then you see her like one arm holding up a bunch of tanks and one arm like holding the door for the girls, and I really like that scene because it's like saving people. It's
Yeah.
cool. Um, and then she gets like really built up. She gets really angry because she's like seeing like the visions of like all of like the failures and just like Clark and like who she wants to be and stuff. She's like it's like fully coming alive, and she really unleashes the largest like laser eyes blast I've ever seen in my life. It was like a Cyclops level blast. It was like boom, and it blows out the entire side of the ship, and then all of the brides immediately run out of the ship on like the scalding hot the scalding hot like metal, which I thought was funny. And then it's like the fighting scene, but like
Yeah,
what
then the fighting scene, that song, the cover of what was that song that was the cover of?
I don't remember, but this has been very
It was
dividing in the community.
is it Kelly Clarkson? Is that the cover?
I don't know exactly what yeah, look it up and see if you can find it because I don't remember what it's like. Move Mountains, isn't that what it's called, or like Move something?
No, it's something.
Excuse me. But anyways, she's like fighting, or she like flies out of the spaceship at Mach speed because Krem is hunting Ruthie, and trying to beat Ruthie up because Krem actually didn't die. He was just like following Ruthie. And then she goes out at like supersonic speeds and then hits Krem and is beating the ever living crap out of him. And then all of Krem's goons come out of nowhere. Again, they like spawn. And did you figure out what it was?
It is.
I saw you
No.
nodding your head. That's why I was like,
No, I'm looking through what says is the soundtrack, but I don't see the name of the song. But it's a cover of a famous song.
yeah, it's a cover of a famous song. It starts with an M. I'm like almost positive.
Is it the middle?
Yes, I think so.
I feel like it was something else, but it doesn't matter. It's bad.
Yeah, you didn't like you didn't like it?
No, it's kind of cringy.
You thought so, really? Interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't mind
like
it. Do I think it would have been way better with Blondie? The song that they've, or like that's like the artist that they've been promoting this whole marketing, like the that song. That would have been way better as the needle drop there. But I did not mind the needle drop.
Yeah, it just didn't fit. It just took me out of it. I was like, oh, we have this awesome fight scene, and then they randomly play that song, and I'm like, eh. And they're okay, but also keep in mind while they're playing this song. Okay, so yeah, it is the middle. While they're playing this song, they cut to just Ruthie just spinning and being stunned and doing nothing but standing there and being like, whoa, this is impressive. Like it.
What is she supposed to do in her defense?
Nothing, because she can do nothing. She can do nothing but complain and whine and carry around a sword that she's never going to use.
I'm a sucker for it. I was sitting there and I was like, this is cool. You know, all this, you know, you can say what you want. And yeah, no, the movie was not perfect at all. There was a lot of problems, but I was like smiling. I was grinning ear to ear when I was watching her like fly around and like beat the crap out of them, and like using her laser eyes and then covering Ruthie when like a tank was falling. Like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Those were cool moments, but there wasn't enough of that. And the things that weren't those moments were bad.
Do you remember the reveal of like when she was wearing the suit? Audience, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. But like when she like the suit reveal when she like flies up in the dust behind the spaceship, it looked very much so like the Superman when he like rises in the dust. I got like I got a little bit of chills during that time. I was like, this is cool.
And maybe I would have enjoyed this movie more if I saw it with a crowd. I think there was 4 other people in my theater. Keep in mind, it came out today. This is opening day that we saw this movie.
Opening day, and there was 4 people?
So I saw it in regular format. I didn't see it in IMAX or Dolby. There was 2 IMAX showings today in my theater and 1 Dolby showing. The rest were regular. I took screenshots. I took screenshots actually of every single showing today. Not every single, but most of them in like the prime window to see this movie. The IMAX one was the most that was close to full, but it itself was not full. And the other showings either had no tickets sold or had only maybe 5 tickets sold.
To put this into perspective, I applied and I got into an advanced screening for like, well, 1 press and then 2 like general admission for press that like it filled up the press and then it was general admission. And I got in for the general admission at like a huge IMAX screening. And the line was like around like the block to get in. And I got lucky because I got there early and things like that. And my theater was packed because of this event. It was like that's where I got this shirt from, and I got a bunch of other merch because it was sponsored by Warner Brothers. But there was no audience reactions. I'm not just now realizing. Nobody said a peep. No one laughed. No one did anything. They left this movie and there was like nothing. Like people didn't say it. People did not feel good about this movie, I'm realizing. Meanwhile, I went to the advanced screening of Superman and there were guys down my aisle that were like jumping in their seats, like screaming. I was one of those guys. I was like, oh, like when he was spinning around with the laser. I was having so much fun, and I just was not getting that in this movie. So you saying that just made me like remember that. So that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a TikTok for our channel that's gonna just show the screenshots
Mm-hmm.
of how many people were at opening night because yeah, Superman, any Marvel movie, like even when you go see the
Mm-hmm.
Eternals, right? Sure, the Eternals didn't do well, but the nerds of Marvel showed up to watch the Eternals on opening night, right? Because the people that are invested in these universes, like truly,
Mm-hmm.
typically show up for these movies.
I think if you're listening to this, you should go see this movie. That's our consensus. You should go see it. If your ticket prices are really expensive and you just can't like this isn't a movie you should like save up money to go like see. This is a movie like if you're like a dad, you like you go take your kid or you go take your daughter or something. I've heard feedback that like younger girls really like this movie and just like female audiences like this movie a little bit better is what my consensus is. I've heard, and also me leaving the screening, it seemed like that as well. I could see that being like a really big selling point for just like people to go see. But you should just go see it. Just go have fun. Just go see it, and then tell everyone if you like it or you don't like it. I feel like I don't know. Do you think it's gonna make even? Do you think it's gonna break even?
No, I don't. I mean, I
Oh
probably will.
my
It probably
goodness!
will, but I don't. What was its budget?
What was its budget? I don't know.
Yeah, what
Probably
was
like
the
200 million
Supergirl? Yeah,
or 150 million, maybe.
let's see. I feel like it's gonna
Jamie,
shock
pull it up.
us. Jamie, pull it up. It was anywhere between 170 to 175 million. So not terrible for a movie of this
So like
size.
in between one, I guess.
It'll probably
No, that's
profit
mm, uh,
pre-marketing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. This doesn't look good. What were
It's
the
not going to get good
estimated?
word of mouth.
It's not gonna get word of mouth, which is what it Superman did. Superman got really good word of mouth, and it was like trending on TikTok and everything with the sounds and the memes and everything for so long, and it rode that for a while. This movie's not gonna have that, and I'm really worried on whether or not it's gonna break even. I don't think it's gonna break even, and I think it's gonna make the Paramount merger look bad, and I think it's going to damage the brand, and I hope it doesn't. God, I have so much faith.
Yeah, it's getting somewhere between 34 to 45, $43 million in terms of opening day
Oh God.
box office. We'll kind of see how it plays out. I mean, I don't know. I'm in Miami, so maybe in other areas in other cities there was better turnout. My
I'm
theater
in
in
Austin,
Miami, it
Texas.
was
I gotta
not.
check. I gotta check mine. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
night. All right. Well, what are we gonna see next?
That's a great question.
Oh wait.
What
Sorry. What's our rating now? We gotta do
I
that.
think.
Okay.
What did I say? 4.5.
You gave like 4 point something. Yeah, four and change.
I'll bump it up to 5 because I really like Millie Alcock
Nice.
and Supergirl.
Okay.
If you gave me the movie and you cut everything out but her solo moments and crypto moments, yeah, I'm also crypto lives by the way. He lives.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah. No,
remember,
he
the whole
lives.
reason
It's
she
fine.
wants
Yeah.
Krem in the first place is because he
Hmm.
has the antidote.
That's
Because
true.
obviously, yeah.
Apparently, in the book, like what this is based off of, and this is incredible. What is based off of is that the healing lady actually had the ability to heal Crypto that whole time, and Supergirl knew that, and Crypto was never in any danger. When they came back, Crypto was running around and fine because the whole time Supergirl was using it as an excuse to help Ruthie because she wanted to help Ruthie.
Yeah.
I'm probably not explaining that too well, but like
It's
she
not
was
the
just
case in
like,
this movie.
no, I
She
feel like
doesn't
that
want to
would
help Ruthie.
no, she does not. She does not give a heck about Ruthie. Sorry, I'm trying to say monetized. But But yeah, no, and you bumped it up to a 5. I'll bump it down to just a flat 7.
Okay.
And I understand that this is high for this role. Personally, I had fun. It's a stinker a little bit. Yeah, it's a stinker. And it's not written well. Yes, I understand that. I had fun. That's what movies are about. You know, that's what you're doing.
Fun.
Yeah, I had fun. So that's what I'll give it. And then I guess we can talk now about what do you want to see next? What you want to do? Toy Story?
We could do Toy Story. Yeah.
Okay. If you're watching this,
Toy Story,
know.
But
probably don't have any views, but let us know.
Let's put Toy Story as a placeholder unless there's something else in the next week we decide is better.
Streets are saying the new Minion movie is supposed to be fire.
I mean, that's all me. I'm leading the charge on the Minion movie. Stay tuned for my TikTok I'm going to put out that breaks down these Minions versus the old Minions. Shane, I know you have to go, and I know we have to wrap up this podcast. I think we need to do a separate ancillary episode on just Krypton and Argo and how they pull a city up from the planet and exist for years after, that Krypton doesn't just blow up and disappear. There's too much to talk about in this movie for something that had very little runtime and little story, but that was a cool moment that we didn't get a chance to talk about. Mm-hmm. But maybe we could do a separate piece just breaking that whole plot point down, because that is one of the moments where the movie thrives.
I agree. Yeah, anything in Krypton is pretty good stuff, and I would like to see more of that in the future. Specifically, I'd like to see a little bit more of Superman's parents.
Yeah, they're not shown really in this.
They doubled down in this movie, and they were like, hey, there goes the conqueror of worlds in that pod. So it really was not like any, like, the Gunn is doubling down on his previous statement of being like, yeah, no, this guy is supposed to have a harem or a harem of whatever of women and just like go crazy. So it's crazy that he doubled down on that, but I think it makes the message stronger and it's fun. But we'll be back next week and we'll talk more about something that we watched, or maybe we'll talk more about this. We'll talk about something. So please show up for the love of God.
Please do. Thank you for watching. This has been Buttered Up. Stay poppin', and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.